On St. Patrick's Day, nowhere celebrates quite like Ireland. In 1 minute alone, 700,000 revellers receive the world's warmest welcome. 500,000 shamrocks are proudly domed. 100,000 children wear cheeky grins. And 1,000 fans of the black stuff take a moment to enjoy their pint of glorious Guinness. 700 dancers kick up their heels. 500 potatoes are peeled for an Irish stew. 400 fiddles captivate the crowds. 200 tall tales are told. 30 mouth-watering oysters are shut. 20 new friendships are firmly forged. 15 rugby players wrestle for glory. 7 tons of fabulous fireworks fill the sky. 2 people fall in love all over again. And overlooking it all, our one and only St. Patrick. If that's how you feel after 60 seconds of Ireland, what would a week feel like? To find out, come on over and visit us. Happy St. Patrick's Day from Ireland to you.
Welcome back to Global Village. I'm Buddy Cunanan, and tonight's topic is Discover Ireland. And happy St. Patrick's Day in advance, gents. Joining us still is Michael Conroy and Brian Lane, both from Ireland, but residents of the Philippines, made Philippines their home. So, gents,
Sláinte. That's like my buhay.
Yeah. Again?
Sláinte.
Schlonger.
Sláinte.
Slongsham.
There you go.
And there you go. Okay. So let's talk about the community here. Are there any businesses here that are doing? I mean, is there any trade that's happening between the Philippines and Ireland, and vice versa? What is being exchanged?
Yeah, beef.
Beef?
Yes, beef is very popular at the moment. Basically, we are now beginning to import beef from Ireland into the Philippines.
Really? Okay.
Which just recently took off again. So that's the main trade at the moment. We do have a delegation of Enterprise Ireland and IDA that are actually coming into Manila next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
And obviously there'll be further negotiations, with the Department of Foreign Affairs as well, coming on Tuesday for further trade.
Yeah. How about from Ireland to the Philippines? I mean, from the Philippines to Ireland. What is being traded?
Hospitality,
Okay.
nurses, doctors, construction, fishermen.
Fishermen?
Yes, fishermen.
From the
Yes.
Philippines?
Yes, believe it or not. Absolutely.
Really?
In Malonhead, in
Yeah.
the north of Donegal. We're beginning to see that trend as well. In actual fact, over the last 5 or 10 years, we're beginning to see small Philippine diaspora in the counties of Donegal, from where I am actually, which is great to see because basically I'm married to a local Filipina. She's from Baguio, Mary Chris, God love her, and we've got 2 beautiful daughters. And it's just great to see when we're back home in Ireland that when we do see other Filipinos, it's great. We start speaking Tagalog and having a chat, and before you know it, an hour's passed, and we're still standing there having a talk.
Amazing,
Yes.
amazing. How many Irish are here in the Philippines? What is the community? How big is the community?
We had that conversation earlier. I reckon, Brian,
300.
about 300,
About 300.
give or take.
Plus the 2 of us. So
Yes.
that makes 500.
We make up for the rest.
We make, yeah.
So not a big community.
No,
Yeah.
not a big community.
But we're just like the Filipinos in Ireland. We're larger than life. I think we fight above our weight, so to speak, numerically. Although we're much smaller than the British community here,
Yeah.
for example. We're quite active, and because of the similarities, the cultural similarities, and historical, religious similarities, we find ourselves very much at ease here. A lot of foreigners come here and are not comfortable because it's a different style. The culture, the environment is not what they're used to. Some people are too stiff, too formal. We're not, and we relax into the Philippine culture very easily.
Yes,
Very
yes.
easily.
And you have the St. Patrick's Society,
Yes.
and that is the community here. That is the official cultural group here in the Philippines. And you've got a big event, as I mentioned, on the 17th, March 17th, which is 3-4 days away.
Yes.
And this is the St. Patrick's Day. So Tell us a bit about this day. How is it celebrated?
Yes.
What's going to happen?
Well, basically, coming this Saturday, if you don't mind me giving you the
Please,
details,
yeah.
it's all on the Facebook website. It's St. Patrick's Society Manila. Basically, tickets can be actually got from Helen M. Dunn, number 7 at gmail.com. Basically, it's going to be held at Century Mall in Makati at 6:30 p.m. on Saturday evening, the 17th, which will actually be in conjunction with the basically the Six Nations Rugby Final rugby competition between obviously England and Ireland,
game,
which should
big
be a
game.
great
Big
game,
game. Big game.
which kicks off about what 10, 11 o'clock.
It'll be between 10 and 11, yeah, yeah.
So obviously we'll be a bit merry by then, and obviously
Absolutely.
our tummies will be full, and we'll have a few giggles and laughs, as you can appreciate. There'll be a band on as well, and the band on at that particular time will be Finnegan's Wake Band as well. They'll be there, and we have an expectation of about maybe 100, 120 people at the current time, but tickets are still available.
But it'll feel like 10,000.
Absolutely.
Yeah, with all the noise. And I think one important point, I think Billy King is going to be our
Yes, it's
our
going to be
chef,
the guest chef.
best, one of the best chefs in the
Bravo.
Philippines happens to be Irish. And
Bravo, bravo.
He used to be with the Intercon originally, then he set up his own businesses here, and he's been very successful, very popular guy, and he's well known to most of the top people here, the big families. They all like Billy's cooking, they all like to use Billy's services, and he will be there on the night.
Yes.
Very good, very
You
good.
just got to keep him away from the Irish whiskey.
Well, you know what they say about Irish and alcohol. That's why God gave you alcohol, so you wouldn't rule the world.
Exactly.
There you go.
So we ruin it instead of rule it. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Okay, let's talk about St. Patrick. Why does he occupy such a special place in your hearts, in your culture?
Well, I mean, St. Patrick obviously spread Christianity through Ireland. Basically, he originally came over from Wales, and he was originally a bishop. And it's alleged that he drove all the snakes out of Ireland. Whether or not there's any truth in that?
I mean, it is a fact. There are no snakes in Ireland.
I think it was Rentokil actually who did it. But,
Nice plug for Rentokil.
yeah, nice plug for Rentokil.
But yeah, I mean, the nuts and bolts of it, he did, spread Christianity, and we celebrate that around the world, as you can appreciate. And it's a special day, the 17th of March.
Big party in Ireland. In fact, we have a video of St. Patrick's Day in Dublin, which we're going to show now, just to give the viewers an idea of what happens really in St. Patrick's Day in Ireland. So let's have a video. Very nice, Brian and Michael, about showing our viewers what is St. Paddy's Day like in Ireland. And I couldn't help but notice all that green, and you guys are famous for the color green. It's like the national color for Ireland. Why is that?
I think because we're known as the Emerald Isle. Maybe because we have a lot of rain, the grass grows very quickly and very green. Not as quickly as it does here, obviously, but green has become our national heritage, and everything. So many of our songs, poems celebrate the greenness of Ireland, and it's something that's just been part of our culture forever.
Yeah. In addition to that as well, our original flag was actually green, known as Éireann Go Bragh.
Éireann Go Bragh, yeah.
And basically, we only adopted the tricolor flag that you see today, which is the green, white, and gold, as late as the 17th, 18th century. And I think that was enacted into then Parliament within Dublin, obviously in this century, around the 40s or 50s from memory. And basically we have the green, which obviously represents Irish Catholicism, obviously the white flag, which is neutral peace, and then obviously the orange side as well is for the Protestants, to keep peace in between the country.
Yes, and you know, in the United States, when they celebrate St. Patty's Day, let's say in Chicago or a place where bodies of water, it's not unusual for them to color these bodies of water green.
Oh yes,
it's amazing. Or maybe Boston or
Boston, I think, there were ports in those days. The Irish immigrants arrived by sea, obviously, and Boston, New York, and inland Chicago were centres that are still very Irish. And if you look at the names of the presidents, Kennedys and people like that, they're
absolutely
all of Irish extraction.
Yes.
We've had an impact probably disproportionate to our numbers in places like the States.
I'm so glad you brought it up because the diaspora of Irish people out of Ireland is amazing. If figures are correct, it says that close to 80 million people there are close to 80 million people of Irish extraction or descent outside Ireland. And if you think about the island, it's only presently the population 6 million, including Northern Ireland.
Yep.
That's an amazing statistic, huh?
Yes, absolutely. And rightfully so too. I mean, even like in North America, probably you're looking at 35 mil, 40 mil there as well. So as you can appreciate, it's a loud bang on St. Patrick's Day.
And it happens everywhere in the world, and this
virtually everywhere in the world.
Virtually everywhere, almost everywhere in the world where you have an Irish community or an Irish pub.
And if there isn't an Irish pub, it's probably not a country you want to be in anyway. I won't use Mr. Trump's description of some of these places, but countries that have good social activity and atmosphere tend to need an Irish pub.
Yes.
Because it's part of the crack.
And it's easy to spot Irish, the Irish overseas because your surnames give you away. Like in your case, O'Conroy, anything with an O or a Mac or a Muck or then this is an Irishman you're talking to.
Yes.
Well, I'm as Irish as they come, but my name is being Anglicized because of our history. A lot of the for two reasons. A lot of the British visitors decided they wanted to convert the Irish traditional names to names that the English could pronounce, spell, or speak. And then when a lot of the Irish emigrated to the States, for example, or Canada or Australia, the names were, the guys writing the list down might be Polish or whatever. So that's why a lot of the names were simplified or anglicized or just misspelt.
Yes.
Correct.
Quite honestly. But the people like the Kennedys and so on, obviously there's a pride in the Irish tradition, the Irish heritage, and most of these families kept the Irish name and kept the proper spelling.
Yes.
And also the religion, very strong even with, second, third, fourth generation Irish who left Ireland, still very steadfast Catholics. In fact, my senior moderator in high school was an American Jesuit named Father James O'Brien. And he was American, but he was as Irish and as proud of Ireland as anyone could be.
Yep.
So amazing this diaspora about how it's spread even to the Philippines.
Yep. And speaking of religion as well, we have actually the Columban Fathers in Malate. They're actually based here, and according to the notes, they've been here since 1929.
Yes, I thought it was even earlier.
Yeah, perhaps.
But I was very young at the time, Michael. So.
Say no more. But they have various advocacies, obviously human, ecological, that they aspire to, and they're still going today. And I believe Father John's still there today.
Very good, very good. Well, gents, we've come to the end of our second segment. When we come back, we'll talk about your beautiful country, what is there to see, and how can Filipinos visit, and the best time to visit, and of course, top sites in Ireland. So stick around for that. So guys, more of Discover Ireland when Global Village returns.
Our ideal holiday.
Ideal holiday. Well, it's when you find something new.
Somewhere quiet, somewhere isolated, and
The first thing we say every morning is, so what do we do today?
yeah, get out, get up a mountain.
Somewhere where we can just laugh together
Somewhere you can get really fresh food.
and just to feel really special and looked after.
It's when you go somewhere and it's so great that you don't want anybody else to know about it.